All right. So, as somebody who's been to both the Oakland Coliseum and Oracle Park in San Francisco many times, I thought it'd be a cool idea to sort of compare the two. Why is Oracle Park so much more appealing? What are the differences? How are the styles of these ballparks and their aesthetics different? And, before you go and say, well, it's apples and oranges comparing Oracle Park and Oakland Coliseum, because the Oakland Coliseum was built many years before Oracle Park was, and it's just it wouldn't be fair. I'm here to tell you that it actually isn't comparing apples and oranges, because the Oakland Coliseum and Oracle Park are both competing for fans. They're both in a competitive market. They're sharing a market, and in theory, the Oakland Coliseum would be trying to match up with the Oracle Park, which of course isn't the case. So I thought, we can kind of look into this, and I'm not here to just have a complaint about the Oakland Coliseum. That would be stating the obvious. I mean, the Oakland Coliseum is very, very poor in quality, and I also think that there are many ways the Oakland Coliseum could improve without being overhauled and demolished. Right? Take food for example. And you know what? Let's just get into food. I mean, the Oracle Park is just the food there is remarkably better than the Oakland Coliseum. And when I meant the Oakland Coliseum doesn't need an overhaul to get good food, what I meant by that is it doesn't take world class facilities to have world class food. The Oakland Coliseum food is just straight up awful. If you're into getting a 10 to $15 burger that's been sitting under a heat lamp for 20 minutes, the Oakland Coliseum long line of concessions is, the place for you. You can also pay probably $8 to $9 for a souvenir soda, and they don't have Coke or Pepsi products. So you're gonna find yourself with some borderline off-brand soda with a burger that has the bun stuck to the meat, and it's not good. Whereas Oracle Park, you can pay probably $3 less per item and get something that was pretty much made to order, a lot better quality. And I mean, I don't think ballpark food is the best food anyways. It's basically fast food. They have to get it to you quick. But Oracle Park at least takes some pride in their food options. And they have Coke. They don't have neither of Pepsi and Coke. So the food at Oracle Park is remarkably better, and it's also more cost efficient, right? If Oracle Park was charging more for better food, that would be one thing. But the fact that the prices are either the same or less, it just doesn't add up. The Oakland Coliseum food is just not good at all. I recommend, if you're going to go and you haven't really gotten the food before, go to Championship Plaza, because at least you're getting a food truck, which isn't, the Oakland Coliseum's brand, if you will. You're getting something at least a little bit better. The Oakland Coliseum food, though, is overpriced. The concession lines are super long because they have hardly any of them open, and it's not a good value. It's just not good for what you're getting. I mean, I'm someone who eats there all the time because I have no other option, right? You can't bring outside food. So the Oakland Coliseum food is terrible. I just want to say it one more time. You do not need world-class facilities. You do not need a Oracle Park caliber ballpark to get decent food, right? The Oakland Coliseum, if they tried, could have Oracle Park food quality, of that quality, but they don't, because they don't try. And that's the ownership's fault. So yeah, that's the food. The overall experience is just much better at Oracle Park, because you feel like you're more at home. Like the Giants, I got to give them credit. I dislike the Giants, but they take pride in their ballpark, right? They have branding all over it. They sort of embrace this brick wall thing with over the right next to the bay. And like I said, the A's can't just put in a waterfront in front of the Oakland Coliseum. There's certain things that Oracle Park is just going to have an edge over at the Oakland Coliseum. But the A's don't try at all with the branding. I mean, you're walking around concrete essentially everywhere. You don't feel like you're at home. It feels like, the A's are still sharing the stadium with the Raiders, and, like they used to, which they aren't anymore. And so that overall is just not really appealing to me. Another thing with Oracle Park is just, I gotta say, the one downside to it is the parking situation is pretty bad. And it's very busy, especially when the Warriors play on the same night. But I gotta say though, the Oakland Coliseum it's in a good location, but I feel like they are jacking up the ticket parking prices, which is something that they didn't used to do. They used to have free parking Tuesdays at the Oakland Coliseum, and of course, because of the ownership, they're constantly raising prices on things, and so that's another part of it. But I feel like the main thing that sets Oracle Park in front of the Oakland Coliseum is the food, and I feel like also just the cleanliness of the ballpark. At the Oakland Coliseum, you're probably going to run into a lot of cobwebs on your seats. The sound system is very, very poor at the Oakland Coliseum, and at Oracle, it's a lot better. And I mean, I'm saying this as an A's fan, right? I'm not saying this as a Giants fan talking smack about the Oakland Coliseum. Like, the Oakland Coliseum is where my team plays, and I'm honestly embarrassed of that. And so I think Oracle Park, going there a couple of days ago, it was sort of a culture shock seeing how much better it is. And it's a shame that the A's don't have that. Now, I think Howard Terminal will probably possess a lot of the same traits that Oracle Park has, but for now, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's mainly the food, the aesthetic of the ballpark, like having team branding around it, and having, it just makes it seem like they care more. And then, overall, I mean, I guess the location of Oracle, it's a little bit harder to get to, but that's what you're gonna have when you're in a very densely populated downtown. So yeah, that's it. Oracle Park compared to Oakland Coliseum, sort of a traveler's guide if you're open to going to both. And if you're not, if you've been to both, I mean, I'm sure you'll agree the food at the Oracle Park is remarkably better, and just the overall experience, it's a lot more fun. I only really go when the A's are playing the Giants, because I would have really no other reason to otherwise, but that's pretty much it. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys later, and yeah, go A's.